go. And now we'll go ahead and get started with our programming. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us here today. My name is Sam Hunt. I'm the coordinator for workforce initiatives here at the Chicago Transit Authority in our diversity programs unit. Thank you for joining us for our latest installment of our Construction Talk series. For many of you who may be new to this program, Construction Talks is a series of virtual information sessions about training, workforce, and most importantly, apprenticeship opportunities within the Chicagoland region that work and facilitate the various projects that CTA's capital planning and construction team deliver to our customers. So today, the CTA Construction Talk segment will feature actually the sheet metal workers, Local 73. We have a wonderful collection of panelists here to help provide some information about apprenticeship opportunities with the local, and also show you a segment featuring interviews with apprentices from the facility, training coordinator, and various shots to give you all some insight into what the actual training facility is like and the opportunities that are available there. So with that said, we'll go ahead and get started with some introductions about who you're going to be hearing from today. So as I said, my name is Sam Hunt. I'll be hosting this wonderful event today, and I'll pass it over to my colleague, Brandy Phillips, to introduce herself.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Brandy Phillips. I'm the manager of workforce initiatives within the diversity programs department of CTA. Sam and I are tasked with making sure that we are monitoring our workforce compliance goals on our CTA contracts. And part of that is also educating the community about different construction industry related opportunities. And so hence is the reason that we're here today. So I'll pass it on to Jamila.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jamila Muhammad. I am the Education Careers Director at Cisco, which is the Construction Industry Service Corporation, servicing all of the 24 different union trades. And I will now pass it off to Sean Mulhern.
I am Sean Mulhern. I'm the Apprentice Coordinator for Local 73 sheet metal workers.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for those introductions. So for those of you that have never joined one of these webinars before, the way this typically goes is we start out with the video, which features the tour of the apprenticeship facility and some interviews with both apprentices and a coordinator from the local featured in the segment. Once we're done with the video, we'll actually be doing a live question and answer period. We have some pre-prepared questions that we're going to ask Sean about the application process, what to expect, what his experience has been like as a member of the local. But we also welcome as many questions as folks may have about the apprenticeship process, what the training is like, what the application may be like, etc. So as you're watching, if anything comes to mind, we encourage you to type it out and write it in the question and answer box down below. But for now, we'll go ahead and get started with the video. So give me 1 second while I pull this up. And Sean, if you could just give me a quick little verbal confirmation you can hear this when you have a sec. Let me get it started. Good.
I'm Mulhern. I am the coordinator for Local 73's apprentice program. I began in Sam, I lost the volume.
Oh, thank you. 1 sec. All right, Sean, if you wouldn't mind going on mute as well, just for a sec.
I'm Mulhern. I am the coordinator for Local 73's apprentice program. I began in
Lost the volume again, Sam.
Apologies that this keeps happening. Let me try this then.
Mulhern. I am the coordinator for Local 73's apprentice program. I began in
You lost it.
Apologies everybody for the concerns and issues we've been having. 1 second. Okay, I think I've got it now. All right.
'73's apprentice program. I began in
It's out.
It's gone again.
Yeah.
Golly. All right, 1 second. Apologies everybody for the concerns. Let me see what could be the issue. Alrighty. Let's see. Let's try this now. righty, there we go. Well, bravo to you, Sean. I know that you were a little reluctant with the camera when we were first there for our visit, but you did a fantastic job. So thank you very much for that. So now, after watching that, everybody, this is actually one of the rare occasions where we've had the chance to visit a facility and actually host this webinar when the apprenticeship is actually accepting applications. So as Sean mentioned in the video, they are currently open and accepting applications for their apprenticeship program. Sean, would you mind sharing with us again just a little bit of those details that you mentioned at the top of the video about when applications are due and what the process is like and when the review of the applications will begin? And be advised, you are on mute. There you go.
I sound better muted anyhow.
Ah,
Our application process is pretty simple. You can go to the website smw73.org and get all the information needed. But what you really need to bring in is a birth certificate, a copy of your high school diploma or GED, and a driver's license. The application fee is $20. We have a study guide available that is also $20. We only take cash or money order. And our application runs every Wednesday from 8 a.m. till 1 p.m. And that will last all the way through August 17th. The aptitude test right now is scheduled for September 13th. So that's pretty much in.
So there's about a month between when the final day to submit your application is and when the actual test is, correct?
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
awesome.
So
And that's great to hear. And we're right at actually that half point now of July 18th, where we have about a month left until applications are due, and you're about a month in to the process. I know also up to this point, and again, for some of the folks who are attending here, if they want to, if any of you have any questions, or I see there was one hand raised, I have one quick question before that, but if anyone has any questions or comments or anything, feel free to add to the Q&A or to the chat box, and we'll get them as the segment continues. But I know that you also do some tours for folks or for groups that may be interested in actually seeing the facility. If anyone is interested in doing something like that, Sean, how would they go about that?
all you have to do is contact the school. The phone number is 708-544-5711. Ask for myself, or you can email us at jatc@smw73.org. We try to do tours. They last about an hour and a half, and we like to keep the groups between 50 and 20 people.
All right, great. Thank you for that, Sean. Again, I think I see our first chat. Okay, thank you, Brandy, for posting that. So for folks who may not have caught that verbally, the website link that Sean just mentioned that you can visit and kind of get more information about and potentially schedule a tour if you have one or are interested in having one, then you can access it there. That said, it looks like we did get a comment about some of the background music being a little loud in that video. Apologies for that if anyone was having issues with the sound. We are going to be, after the fact, uploading the actual video segment that you did watch to our YouTube page, CTA Doors Opening, along with a recording of this webinar specifically. So if for some reason you weren't able to hear some of the information that was provided in that video, then you can certainly check back on our Doors Opening page either today or most likely tomorrow afternoon in order to view some of that and get some of the information that you may have missed during that period. So we do apologize if anybody did have those issues. We did get a question in the Q&A. Is any previous experience needed to be accepted to the apprentice program, Sean?
None at all. None at all. Most of our applicants aren't familiar with the trade at all, and we start from the ground up. So, you know, we need people that are willing to work. You know, it's in any of the building trades, like I said, you're going to have to work. You're going to go home dirty and tired, and you know, do it every day. So we just need people willing to work.
And Sean, what would you say is some of the like various projects or some of the various work experience? Because I know with sheet metal work specifically, like Alejandro spoke to his opportunity where he is actually working in a fabrication shop, but there are also some of the workers and members of your local that will go to various project sites. Is it kind of, what is it like for, or where would somebody who is an apprentice or even a journey worker be working as they become a member and as they become trained with the union?
Well, where they get placed is kind of random. Again, it's when the contractor calls, we take the next name on the list. So like Alejandro is at a fabrication shop. Some go to our bigger contractors, where they'll be working on all the projects downtown. We also have, balancing companies where someone might get put into balancing. And again, a lot of times if they get put into the small niche of the trade and it doesn't work, we try to move them out and get them an opportunity to be successful.
Gotcha. Thank you for that. There is a question from Angela Acevedo. The population I serve are CT high school students in the trades. Is there any additional support provided by any of the other tutor students or guide students with regards to the entrance exam? So what resources are available to individuals for the entrance exam? It's a study guide, you said?
For us, it's just a study guide. We don't have the, I would say, the personnel or the time to do anything outside, because we have apprentices in school all year long. We have them here every day. So we focus on the ones that are here, right now.
Gotcha. And also for the study guide specifically, for individuals that do want that ahead of the actual exam, is that something that they have to come directly on site in order to obtain? Is it on the website? You mentioned that you do have to pay for the study guide, correct?
You have to come to the office here. It's $20. Just come up and to the office window and we have them there. It's not available digitally. We actually get the study guide through the testing company that we use. So.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Jamila, Brandy, do either of you have any question? I know I've been kind of taking some of the action. I see we do have a hand raised from Mr. Wardlaw. Mr. Wardlaw, if you wouldn't mind typing your question into the chat or the Q&A. But Jamila or Brandy, do either of you have any questions right now or any comments about the video, about kind of what's been shared up to this point, anything?
Hey, Sam, no, I don't have any questions. I think that Sean has done a great job with kind of talking about the application process for getting into the local. That's where my questions would be. Just really talking about that application process and what it looks like and what the expectations will be for an individual that's interested in applying and things like that. But I think it's a really great video. You guys have showcased a lot of what 73 has to offer.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Brandy. And I saw Jamila shaking her head as in no.
Go ahead. I just wanted to say that I second what Brandy says. In a lot of these trades, there are so many different trades, and I have had the opportunity to go out to visit the sheet metals a few times, and it's truly an artistry. And anyone who's interested in joining the sheet metals, I would definitely suggest you put in an application and get that study guide, because it does help.
Absolutely. And just the video didn't capture it captured as much as we could about the actual scope and the size and all the different facets that are a part of the trade itself, but also specifically the training center in Bellwood, Illinois, that we visited. I mean, it is quite the facility with a lot of state-of-the-art technology and training that we witnessed. We were actually able to witness a lot of the training being done on site, which was very, very fortunate for us. Sean, what is some advice that you have for someone who may be a little reluctant to submit an application or may not be fully confident that they can get into the trade? What would you encourage those folks to do if they have any hesitation to apply?
Well, again, like Shay said in the video, you just got to take a shot, give it a chance. I mean, there are quite a few people that apply, they come and work for a while and they decide it's not for them, but until you give it a try, you won't know.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that that's one of the biggest things that, we see across the industry, that a lot of folks may not know where to even start or where to even go first to get their application in, or rather where to even learn about information and resources about trades themselves. So I think that this has been a great and very helpful and informational guide for folks who may be getting introduced to that. We did get a comment in the chat for someone who may have joined late. There will be a video to view after this recording is actually concluded. So for those of you who may have joined a few minutes late and may not have been able to catch the first part of our segment, we will be uploading both a copy of this actual webinar that we're going through right now to our CTA Doors Opening YouTube page. And then we will also be uploading a separate video, which was about 14 minutes long, that is just the tour of the facility at Local 73 of the sheet metal workers. So for those of you who may have issues with listening or had audio issues, we will be recording that video separately as well for you to view if you weren't able to hear it. So that will be coming, but that will come either later today or tomorrow. So with that said, I did have just two more quick questions, Sean, for you specifically. If someone had or wanted to make a direct connection with someone at Local 73 to either talk about their experiences or to just get a little bit more information, because some folks may be a little shy to ask questions over either video or over chat box. So who could they contact directly at Local 73 if they do have any questions?
I'm always available. Like I said, you can call the office at 708-544-5711. And I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have. A lot of times, Darlene, my assistant, she can answer them. So, but like I said, we are, if you have a group that would like to come and tour the facility, we're always open to that. Just got to find a date and a time, and we can set it up.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Sean. And again, the video or the phone number that Sean referenced, 708-544-5711. That is the direct line to Darlene and to the office itself at Local 73. She's very helpful. She's very, very quick to pick up the phone as well when she's in. So big shout out to Darlene. We did get a question from the group about how often the test is actually administered for the apprentice program. So Sean, how often is the test administered, or rather, how often is the local accepting apprentices?
We'll do an application drive after we exhaust the list. After the aptitude test, you need to score 70% or better. Once we get that list, we exhaust the whole thing. So the goal is to get on the list. So if you score 70% or better, you'll be on the list. And once we exhaust it, or get near the end, we'll start another application drive. So how often? The Department of Labor says we have to keep a list at least 2 years. But if we exhaust it sooner than that, then we will open up for applications again. So I would say at worst every 2 years, but it could happen sooner.
Understood. And I know during COVID, what we've heard from a lot of trades is that because of the pandemic, there were a lot of situations where either lists were outdated or lists had to be extended, and new apprentices weren't really being accepted during various periods of time. What was the experience like for you and for Local 73 during that period? I know we're not still quite out of the woods yet, but what were some of the effects during that time and that you've seen now as a result of the pandemic?
Well, I started right before the pandemic hit. And at that point, we had maybe 20 names left on our old list. And it took almost a year to get rid of that because all the work had stopped. That any of the new construction coming up seemed to get stalled and pushed off. And so the list we're currently, we only got about 25 people left on it. It took almost 3 years to exhaust that one. So, but like I said, usually it's a year to 2 years to exhaust a list. Work right now is plentiful in all the trades, so much so that I think there are jobs, from what I understand, jobs getting pushed to next year because there's just not enough manpower to get them done this year. So it's a good time in the building trades right now.
Absolutely. And yeah, with the boom in construction, not only within the public sector, specifically on CTA projects such as the Red Purple Modernization Project, or some of the other ones we have going on, like the 63rd non-revenue maintenance facility project on the south side as well. There's also plenty of projects all across the city where construction labor is needed. So it's a very good and opportune time for individuals to get involved and apply to the construction trades. There was another question I wanted to piggyback off of from Shay's comments about when she applied versus, or rather when she completed her exam and how long she had to wait until she heard back. Is there a timeline, or typically how long after an individual completes and, say, theoretically passes the exam, that they hear back from the local after completing the exam? Like, what's typically the timeline after that?
Well, they'll be notified of the tests, whether they were had passed or had not. And then it's a supply and demand. We work from the list, from the scores. We start from the top and work down. So if, again, I keep hearing that we're going to have a lot of guys retiring in the next couple of years. And my goal is to replace everyone with an apprentice. So I think that for the next few years, we should be pretty healthy here.
Absolutely. That's
Now,
great to
we
hear.
did have I'm sorry, we did have another question in the chat.
Mhm.
What's a balance company?
I'm sorry. Well, a balancing company, when a system is designed and installed, a balancing company will come in and make sure that it's operating the way it was designed, that the airflow is what it's supposed to be, the amount of air being delivered, the temperatures and all of that. So they come in and ensure that the system was installed and operating the way it was designed. Along with that is indoor air quality or ventilation verification. With COVID now, that's bigger. We actually have another certification that is starting this year toward that. So that's what a balancing company does.
Thank you, Sean. And then there's another question that was asked by Angela. Some students may not have means to pay for the study guide. Any suggestions? I did want to offer up a suggestion. There are some workforce agencies that you can probably work with that provide assistance with things like applying for different unions and things like that. Two workforce partners in particular that CTA works with on our RPM project is Chicago Cook Workforce Partnership and Hire 360. We'll include their information in the chat and a contact person for you to reach out to in case you do need assistance with applying to the unions. Maybe you want to brush up on some skills, do some pre-apprenticeship type of trainings and things of that nature. They can assist you with that. So we'll put that information up there so that you'll have it. And then they also assist with, like, if there's dollars that are needed to pay for any kind of apprenticeship related activity. So we'll put that information in there, and the particulars about what it is that they do and the additional things that they can provide, they'll be able to give you guys that information as well.
Thank you, Brandy. And I'm going to quickly grab the links to at least the Hire 360 Chicago original, their webpage that you can visit, like Brandy mentioned. And thank you again, Brandy, for catching those questions. I missed those, so I appreciate it. But both of these workforce partners are great. They've been very helpful and instrumental in supporting our efforts on the Red Purple Modernization Project, as Brandy mentioned. So we strongly encourage folks to look into them, potentially complete an interest form or an intake form with either of them, so you can be enrolled in some of their programming opportunities that they offer. So they're very, very helpful resources and very valuable resources that folks looking to get involved in the construction trades can tap into and access, so should they so choose. So one last round of requests for questions or comments from anybody. Are there anything else from the audience that may have been unanswered, anything that they may have missed, or anything that was mentioned here that we need to type out in the chat box? We're happy to do. We do ask you all do so. If not, go around for another minute. And while some of you all are actually preparing to do that, I do just want to say a quick thank you, especially to Sean Mulhern, for being our point of contact and for helping facilitate this video. Sean, you have been extremely helpful in this process and have given us a lot of information to share with the communities and resources that we work with. So I just want to say thank you to you. Thank you to Jamila Muhammad and Dan Allen from Cisco for helping connect us with Sean, and for all the other unions that we've been able to speak with and feature in our Construction Talk series. You all have been great, and we really appreciate our partnership with you. And a big thank you to Brandy Phillips as well, our manager of workforce initiatives here at Diversity Programs, for all that you do and your support in making this segment happen. And thank you again to all the attendees and audience members here today for tuning in. We do appreciate your attention and appreciate the engagement that you all have shown up to this point. It makes all this the more worthwhile. We did get one final quick question. Thank you, Don Ritter, for asking this. How many years is the apprenticeship, Sean? So what is kind of the timeline for that?
Our apprenticeship is 4 to 5 years. And what I mean by that is we bring apprentices in, we build groups. And we call it our probationary period, where they'll come to school for 2 5-week sessions. Once they complete those 5-week sessions, then they become indentured, and the 4 years goes from there. So it's less than 5, but once they get through that probationary period, the apprenticeship is 4 years.
Gotcha. Awesome. And thank you for that. And then Don had another quick question, which was mentioned in the video, but I believe he was having audio issues about the benefits and the pay scale. So what does the apprentice make? And then what do the journey workers make? And then lastly, what are some of the benefits that are offered to all members?
Our journeymen right now, I think, are at $49.10 an hour. The apprentices during the probationary period are $16.49. And then once they become indentured, it's basically a percentage of a journeyman scale. So when they begin as a first-year apprentice, it's $18.84, and it goes up 5% every 6 months. So you're getting a raise that's $2.50 roughly, more or less, every 6 months for the duration of your apprenticeship.
Gotcha. And then what are some of the benefits that all members enjoy as far as like healthcare or pension?
We have a local pension. We have an international pension. We also have an annuity that the contractors contribute to. It starts in their 3rd year, where $7.05 goes in for every hour you work. As a journeyman, $13.35 go in. So the annuity is quite a nest egg for, the longer you're in it, obviously, the more it's going to be. We have great health benefits. We have full health coverage, prescription, dental, eye are all included. And again, the 2 pensions, the local pension, the international pension, and that's really about it. But like I said, most of the building trades, whether you're a sheet metal worker or any of the others, you're pretty well taken care of. But there is a price to pay. You're going to go out there and you're going to work and get beat up for 30 years. And, hopefully you can enjoy retirement then.
Well, thank you for giving that explanation, Sean. Sean, Jamila, Brandy, the floor is yours. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with the group or say with folks before we wrap up here? I think we're about at our time. I want to be respectful of everyone who did join us. Any other closing comments specifically from you, Sean, or questions or anything that you want to pose to the group?
No, I encourage everyone to come and sign up and take the aptitude test. Like I said, I know a lot of the apprentices we get will sign up and take the test for all different trades, and the first one that calls is where they head to. So, we're not offended by that either. It's just a great opportunity in the building trade. So I encourage everyone to at least explore it.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Sean. And Jamila, anything from you?
Yeah, definitely apply for sheet metal. It's open right now, and like Sean was saying, it can be in upwards of at least 2 years. So just getting that application in it is, really vital. And as I always tell people, it is important to apply to one or more trades. They will not be offended.
Thank you for that, Jamila. And Brandy, anything else from you as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to thank you, Sean. I think that, the sheet metal workers opening up the application period at this time that we're doing the construction talks is great, right? So we have an opportunity here. And so I just want to make sure that those that are on the call actually take advantage of what's happening right now and see the benefit in applying to the sheet metal workers, because it may not be open again for another another 2 years. So definitely take advantage of it. I also want to say Cisco is another great organization that you can find information about the construction trades industry. Jamila, I encourage you to post in the chat your website so that individuals can visit and learn more about it. They're always posting information about not just the sheet metal workers, but most of the trades that are in the industry right now. So I would just say go ahead and hit up Cisco, go on their site. You can learn about different processes as it relates to the trades industry. And as everyone has echoed as part of the panel, right now is a great time to get into the construction trades industry. So absolutely, you want to make sure that you go ahead. And if you're interested, look into it. And if there's anything that we can provide, we want to make sure that we give you the resources and the information to do that as well. So we'll also put in our information about our diversity program site. So you can visit our site as well and learn as much as you can. Our doors opening information is also posted in the chat as well. So I know that was a bit much, Sam, but that was my 2 cents.
Well, I'd like to jump in on that as well. Jamila sets us up with quite a few job fairs, and I know Cisco has one coming up on Friday, and I encourage everyone, we'll be out there. So if you want any more information about the sheet metal workers, make sure you get out to their job fair and you can see what we're about.
Jamila, I did see you had your hand raised real quick.
Thanks, you guys. Yeah, there is a really big hands-on trades fair coming up at the IBEW Union Hall on 27th in King Drive. Sheet metal will definitely be there doing hands-on activities, as well as about, I want to say, 14, maybe 15 different union trades. All will be there doing hands-on activities. And also Chicago Women in Trades, Hire 360, a lot of our big partners. After I get off of here, I'm gonna see if the CTA will grace me with their presence. And yeah, it'll be great from 10 to 2 p.m. So you can find that information on the website, cisco.org. And thank you, Sean. Thank you, CTA and Brandy and Sam. You guys are wonderful.
Thank you, Jamila, and thank you, everybody. Sean, this is a final question, then we're going to close it out for the day. I promise you, we did get one final one from Sharice Miller, who is works with a pre-apprenticeship program, and they're always looking for potentially guest speakers to come in and just provide information about the trade. Does Local 73, or do you specifically do speaking engagements, or if someone wanted to get a tour of the facility, they reach out to you specifically, correct?
Yes. I mean, I'm not a big fan of sitting in front of a camera, but I'd be happy if we can fit it in. I'd come out to your facility and talk to you about, answer any questions I have. And like I said, we try to accommodate everyone that would like to come here.
All right, great. And then Mr. Wardlaw had your hand. I'm looking at this pass. Robert Wardlaw had their hand raised as well. Mr. Wardlaw, did you have any questions specifically you wanted to ask? I enabled you to be able to speak here.
No, I just, if I wanted to take the test, when can I take it?
Well, the first part is to come and go through the application process. And once you do that, then you'll be given a test date and time. Okay, right now, the test date we're working on is September 13th.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else from you, Mr. Wardlaw?
No, that's it. That's it for now. Yep.
All right. Well, that is a great closing period for everybody. Encourage everyone to apply, submit your application to Local 73 as soon as you can. That test will be administered sometime in September 13th. And again, we encourage everybody to make a trip out to their training facility to actually take a tour to see for yourself the great work and great training that is being done. So to close out, thank you again, Sean. Thank you, Jamila. Thank you, Brandy. And thank you to everybody who attended here today. We appreciate your attention and engagement throughout this segment. If you missed anything, we will be recording this to our CTA Doors Opening page, which we will send the link to all attendees after the fact, so you can watch if there's anything you missed. So with that, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you again, and we'll hopefully see you at our next Construction Talk segment scheduled for sometime in September. All right.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you guys for all you've done for us.
Thank you.
Stop the recording.